Hello folks, and welcome to my top 10 countdown of the top RPGs I've played. If you tuned in last time, you'll notice that number 10 was Dungeon Siege, which I got back into playing again and ended up playing for the last 14 days. This next game, right, it came out in 2002, June the 18th, 2002 to be precise. Now, it's a third-person RPG, like most of the ones I like playing. Now, it's had 2 expansion packs. One's called Shadows of Undrentide, and the other's called Hordes of the Underdark, and they all came out in 2003. It's since had another game come out, and it's called, obviously oh, hey up, I'm being photobombed, look at the dog there. Look at that, cute or what? Anyway, that's just a little extra, I'll throw that in for free. It spawned a sequel in 2006 called This Too. I can't tell you the name because otherwise you'll know where it is. It's set in a fate land, and you basically, in the first one anyway, you basically got to save your land from an invasion, which you always have to. It's a really, really good RPG, and the reason I put it as number 9 is because it was the first RPG I ever played which let you choose a character for your voice. And as well as that, there was also about 10 or 15 different classes of character you could play as, so it was massive. Anyway, it got quite a high rating on the Metacritic scale, so it's a really, really good game. And if you haven't guessed what it's called, I'm going to tell you now. Bit of suspense there for you. It's Neverwinter Nights. And coming up, I have got a quick introduction and gameplay of the first 15 minutes or so, which will basically just show you how to choose your character, how to do the... I'll go through it in a minute, my brains, it's alright, it's not working properly today. Go through the introduction and also the first few parts where you have to set up your character. Coming up, I'll also show you the first 10 minutes of the game and the tutorial, which you need to take heed of because there's quite some useful information in there. So if you like your RPGs and you want something that's not too taxing, and also I will say one thing as well, I will give you the advice and information because during the walkthrough I said how you get God mode on, and it isn't. So don't take any notice of what I say to get God mode on because it doesn't work. I will actually put the words over the game so that you can see exactly how you get God mode on. I got it wrong. It's been that long since I played it. Anyway, I'm enjoying it. So if you like your RPGs and you like a bit of something different and you want to have some fun, then enjoy what's coming up. My number 9 and my top 10 RPGs is Neverwinter Nights. Well folks, this is the game Neverwinter Nights, and I'm just about to start a new game. If I click New and I click Neverwinter Nights campaign and we start the prelude, we will basically select a pre-made character. We'll pick a, what we're going to pick, a barbarian. We'll go for a barbarian and play as him. The game loads up and of course you've got your lovely little intro telling you about the story of how it all came about. I'll skip through that now because you don't really want to see that, so I'll leave that for now. So like any all games, you start off in a nice safe area. First guy you come across is Paval, he's injured. And what it basically does, this is an intro into it, learning all about the camera and everything, so I'll do the tutorial so you can see it. Right, my name is Kingmaker November, don't ask me that, I just picked it random. They do pick random names, but the good thing about this, just before I go through the menus, is you can pick your character, you can even pick a voice for your character, you can pick an alignment, so you can pick good, evil, you can pick a cleric, a wizard, a barbarian, a thief, you can pick all sorts. And I said no, it's never heard of anyone being invited to train, so I thought it'll be an honour to serve. They were working on the nearby farms, blah blah blah, so if I go through all this stuff, it's just to do with the plague, and that's basically what the game is. So you do through all this stuff, and I click me want to go now. Right, so if I now come across here, this guy here is called Bim. He's your first guy you encounter, should I say. And if you go onto here, you click OK because you want to see a tutorial. Now,
You can break out of a conversation at any time while you're playing, because you just press the escape key on your keyboard and it will walk away from the character. It doesn't matter. So let's begin the tutorial. If you left click with your mouse on a creature or anything, to be honest with you, it performs a default action. So if I like click him now, it will basically just start talking to, which I'm doing. So if I put OK, so I'm going to do a tutorial. What am I doing? Right, go on. Right, the camera stuff, basically you've got a top-down camera, which is what you've got now. So if you look at the camera, you're in top-down camera mode right now, which means if you move to the left of the screen, it moves that way, right of the screen, it moves that way. If you use your arrow keys, you can come out and you can go back in, so you can get as close or as far away from the action as you want. And if basically anywhere you click on the screen, he'll walk to, so you know you can do all this sort of stuff. So basically that really controls where you're going. You can zoom in and out like it says. I've just moved around for a while now, and then if I click on him again, he'll offer to do other camera modes. I don't really think you need any others, but you can always experiment if you want. So I'm just going to put me happy with this camera angle. Right, Neverwinter's also got several difficulty settings you can choose from. The main difference is in multiplayer games it's totally different, but then again, you know, I'm not playing multiplayer. In the easy setting, you basically 50% of the damage you'd only take of it, and all your hits do a minimum of 50% damage to them. Also, your spells won't hurt your own party members. In a normal setting, it's totally different. Although enemies can't score critical hits on you, your spells still won't hurt your own party. And in the hardcore setting, which is the hard one, you're vulnerable to critical hits, and also gives enemies attacks of opportunity if you use ranged weapons, and your spells will now injure your own party, so you could actually end up injuring or killing any of your own party by accident if you go through the hardcore setting. This game's been balanced. So if I put OK, move on to the tutorial, you can right click on any object or creature, including yourself. This is very important, because if you right click on yourself, it brings up a menu of all your actions, what you can do. If I right click the menu now, it says there, if I right click on him and then do this and then click an attack like that, I will just by definition punch him, which I've just done. So now when I click on him, hold on a minute, it just says at the moment it won't work like that because he's already just been thumped. So I've just got to wait for him to recover for a minute. Right, seems like you've got the menu figured out. So if I come out of there now, the quick bar at the bottom, as you can see, is one of the best bars that you can possibly have. You've got all your spells here and all your different attacks. You can even put talk to on there, so you don't have to worry about talking to anybody. Detect mode is when you try and find out if there's anything that you can do. So say you come across a chest and it says it's got a trap on it, you can detect whether there's a trap by using your detect mode. But all the stuff down here is your weapons, basically, and a couple of bog standard spells, barbarian range and a power attack, and a couple of cures. So if I do continue, basically you can just drag stuff from your inventory down to that, so you'll go through that in a minute. Another important part is the sheet, your journal, which is there, and it shows you your academy training. Now if I click on that on the left button, it shows you the training, what you've got to do in order to basically complete the first part of the game. So come past all this. There's also effects and special effects. The pause and play function is pretty cool, because what you can basically do, you can pause the game and set your character to cast certain spells or do certain attacks, and then when you come out of the pause it will actually attack for you. And then when you want to end the pause mode, you just press the space bar. So you press the space bar once to bring in pause mode, and then you press it again. We're almost done with the tutorial, and there's just one thing left, and that's basically how you rest. Resting is very important, not so much for a barbarian, but it is for if you do a wizard or something like that, because you have to learn spells. Now if you rest often, it heals you, so if you're like almost dead and you find somewhere to rest away from enemies, you're fine. And it also restores any feats or special abilities you may have used up. In order to rest, you just click on the rest button below your portrait, which is I'll just close with the icon there. It's the one with the little, looks like an eyebrow or eyelash thing there underneath it, and if you click on that you'll be able to rest. So if I end the dialogue, so you find yourself in this next room, and this is your training, your combat thing. He's basically just some supplies. He's just a store man at the moment. He just teaches you how to use your inventory. So if we go into this, you've just got to press your I on your keyboard to bring up your inventory, and there you can see all the items you've got, your weapon, your armour. You've got hide armour or a chain shirt, etc. So if I continue, go ahead, do that. I've just done that. The top section of the inventory shows equipped items. So once I put an axe into there, he's now got an axe. If I put the armour there, he's now got a chain shirt on, and it just basically shows you the different things that you can wear and what they represent. You've also, the good thing about it is you've got 7 lots of inventory space, so you've got plenty of room for the items you pick up. Also, obviously, you can have rings, belts, and all sorts as you go through the game. You'll pick them up. If you want, you can, like I said, all them pages in your inventory you've got. Now, equip items, all you do is left click and hold it while dragging them to the appropriate spot, like I've just shown you. You literally just click it, drag it, bang, and then it's done. You can also, if you've got a weapon, you can drag that to the bottom. So say you've got a club there, you can drag that down and put it in an F function at the bottom. So if you press F11, you'll suddenly have the club in your hand instead of the axe. Now if you right click on an item in your inventory, say that there, and you click on it, you can click examine, and it tells you all the different, what the base armor class is, the dexterity, the check penalty, and all sorts of stuff. But some items you come across, you won't be able to do that. You'll need to basically find out about the product first. You'll have to ask in places and pay for it, or you can up your lore skill so that you can learn things like that. The identify spell will also help you, which you can pick up later on. Now, stored items in the game, obviously you've got stores here. If you have a look at see what this guy's got now, if I do this, wait a second. Now he's got an item there, he's got all this store with all the shields and everything, and I've got 20 gold, so if I wanted to I could come across and I could buy like a paladin's tunic for 1. They've also got weapons here where, you know, obviously I could buy a sword for 30 but I've only got 20. But if I sold some of my stuff I might be able to sell it for, you know, a little bit more and get some stuff for it. At the moment I'm just going to start off with an axe, but basically all you do is just click on an item and you bought it if you've got the money. If you haven't got the money, obviously you can't buy it. So that's that bit done. Sorry, I'll just leave that now because that's finished with. I'll then, let me find the door when I can find it. I've gone a bit nuts here. Oh, there you go. I couldn't find the door then. If you come through the door now, you've also got this guy, oh well, Bernie, who's there, and they're basically going to tell you something about, give you a quick tutorial on how to use your map. Now, if you use your journal, you just press the J key. You can press that and it brings up your journal. You've got speaking to Berna there, she's explaining the journal system. Now if I continue here, an academy training, now if I click continue again and go under the journal now, it now says speaking to Berna is completed. So you've got quests, completed quests, and notes of things which you can sort of like pick up on the way that might be important to your quest later on. Now if I go to the map tutorial, basically make sure your journal's closed, which is that, and then you press M on your keyboard, and you press M on your keyboard, you bring up your map. Now you've got arrows at the top for zooming in, so you can make your map bigger and it shows you where you are. It also shows you places of interest, like a little pin there for store, a pin there for combat training, and a pin there for the exit. So that's how you bring the map up, and if you want to get rid of it, you can either press the X in the corner or the M button again and it'll get rid of it for you. Now bear in mind the map always faces north. The map does. You don't, but the map does. So once you've finished that, come out of here and then end that one. Now in here is one of the important things, because this is your combat training. If you go talk to this guy called Herban, he will basically tell you they're just waiting to basically, you know, teach you to do stuff. So if I now go to click all this stuff, just close it all. Right, end dialogue. All you do then, there's a bloke over here, as you can see. Where's he gone? He's there. He's there, look. Dendy, who's uninjured, and he'll teach you how to do combat. So you teach for melee first, you go on to him, and basically all you've got to do is click him. Ready for melee combat trial. There's nothing to it, you and I are going to spar, and basically all I've got to do is hit him once, or I can go for the thing, it doesn't matter really, but I'll go for hit him once, to be honest. As it says down here, as you can see, miss, I've missed him once, and now I've hit him once, so that's good. So now if I click on him, I can't do him now because I've just beat him, so I've got to go over here now, and I've got to look for the guy to do the long range thing. So if I go to him here, I'm ready to do a sling and stuff combat trial. So all I've got to do is hit the target. Now obviously at the moment I've got a thingy on me, so I can't really do anything with that. So what I do is I pick that sling and I pick the bullets, and then what you do, you come out, you go into your inventory, and instead of the axe you put the sling there, and instead of nothing you put the bullets there. So now I've now got slings and bullets. So if I close that and then click on that, it will now throw something and he needs to talk to me. So if I come here, and now congratulations, I've completed the combat trial. So the days at the academy are over. You can go through a bit of spiel if you want, learning about some of the characters. Lady Arabeth is the main one, and these all answer questions and that. So if I put goodbye and then the dialogue. Now the other thing about this game is it's got a lovely little thing built into it called a God mode, and if you want to put the God mode on, all you do is you press the key that's above your tab key on your keyboard, and it brings up an arrow in the top left hand corner, as you can see. And if you type the letters DM and then do an underscore and type in GOD and then press enter, you have now got a God mode on it, which means you can't die. Basically you can have as much fun as you want and you cannot die. I do prefer this mode. I know some people don't and they think it's cheating. I've had this conversation a few times, but to me I don't care, because at the end of the day I haven't got the dexterity to do all this other stuff, to be honest with you. So I'd rather just have some fun, enjoy myself, play the game and job done. So now if I go to the guard here, I'm not sure if I can go to him yet actually. Now that you've finished your training, right, okay. So if I now come out and go into here, I'm now in a separate room. Now this is where your first mission really starts. So what I suggest you do is click on your journal, your inventory, and you put your weapon in that you want to fight with, which in my case is a hand axe. So I've got a hand axe now, and I've also got the best armor on, which is a 16. Now I don't need the bullets at the moment, but I'll leave them there for now, it doesn't make a difference. And now you come across and you get involved in a bit of spiel. That there is Lady Arabeth. I'll zoom in a bit here so you can see a bit more detail. And as you come across, you basically got to talk to her. She basically says, congratulations, you've done your training, blah blah blah. I've been looking forward to meeting you. And there's something else going on, you see, because there's a graduation ceremony coming on. Did you feel it? Claim and brace, they are. We're under attack. So now you've got to basically go and do some attacking, which you can do obviously. If you get the people. Basically got to kill them, go kill them if you can. And then just keep lamping him like until he's dead. And I think there's one more if I'm not mistaken. She's busy obviously, she says she must speak with me. So there's not much time. Right, all you basically do is you've got to get out of here. Ask some questions if you want, find out who the enemies are, find out about the creatures. And then you basically can either choose, you don't have to do as what she says actually, but you know, with it being a what's it game, it's always a good idea. There's a divining pool. Now divining pools are cool because when you click on them, this pool is filled with liquid, and basically what you can do, you can put stuff in them. Examine contents of pool. Well, there's nothing in there at the moment, you see, but you can put stuff in there, and then every time you come to one of the pools, your stuff will already be in there. So it's a good way of saving stuff. You can go talk to people if you want and have a bit of a rattle with them. They're just basically saying, you know, you've got to defend the place first. You know, don't talk to me yet, I need you to defend. So you go in. I'm back in the halls here. Click him. Again, because I've got a God mode on, see. I'll just kill these if I can. I'll just batter him and then I'll batter him as well. It's a bit slow moving. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to remember that it is a fair few years old, Neverwinter Nights. If you want to, you can experiment by, I'll come out a little bit and you can go in the doors. Sometimes, you know, you'll find the bad guys in here that you want to kill, which are there, look. Goblins, you can kill them. You know, you just give them a good bashing or whatever. He's killed him, he's killed him. There's no other. There's a desk there. Sometimes you can find stuff in the item, so just click them. You know, you've got some coins there, you can take them because they'll be useful later on when you need something. You don't know what's going to be available for you as you go through the game. But that's the tutorial basically over with. And yeah, it's a really good game. It's massive because it does get, you know, it does get incredibly huge. And I would suggest doing one thing. I've just told you that there's a God mode on it, which there is. But I would change it to God mode each time you try, because if you look there, look, my energy started going down. If I click on him, where's it say? I don't know if it says it actually. No, it just says hit points. Sorry, I was hoping it might have told you me energy, but it doesn't seem to. But my energy seems to be going down, so if it goes down, it goes down. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. And if it does go down too much, all you've got to do is put your God mode on again. So if I'm just going to batter him now. Right, if I now go put that on again and put DM underscore God, suddenly I now can't die. See, I now can't die, and there's a chest there, you know, so there's a chest. So if I want to, it's locked. I can choose to bash it actually. Hang on. It's there, you can bash it, and it will tell you whether your weapon's effective or ineffective. You'll even bash it a few times. Now your weapon's ineffective there, so there's no point. And now you do a critical hit, so, you know, sometimes you will do damage to it. You will do damage to it. Sometimes you can't bash things because it'll say, you know, you can't damage the target, but I've just done a critical hit there, so. But the damage resistance absorbed 23 damage, so basically I hit it for 23, and basically it absorbed 23, so there's no point carrying on with that. There's a chest door there. I've just triggered a spike trap and ended up dead almost, which is quite funny. Now there's a key there, look, a rogue key. If I close that, there's nothing in these really. And yeah, that's your tutorial done. So if you do play Neverwinter Nights, have some fun, enjoy yourself. I'm seeing if I can use the key on it now. You never know, do you? No, I can't. It won't let me use a key. That's not good, is it? Anyway, that's it. And that's Neverwinter Nights, and that is my number 9 RPG. Have some fun playing it, enjoy yourself. And like I said, there's a load of expansion packs. So have fun, and I'll do another RPG very soon.